And with me in this segment, I'm thrilled to have one of my colleagues at the Chamber, Vaske Gjino, who's our Economic Development Associate. Vaske, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
And Vaske, a Worcester individual, Doherty High School, Clark University, master's at Clark,
Yep.
and now working for over a year now in the economic development space at the Worcester Chamber.
Correct, so 20 years in Worcester, excited to be at the Chamber. I had this opportunity with Tim at the Chamber last year to begin in a position and in a role, working in economic development and bringing in, businesses and, trying to grow not only Worcester's economy, but the regional economy. So especially grateful for that and, happy to be here.
No, well, good. So one of the things that you worked on kind of out of the gate, and when your time at Clark and while you were working, you worked at the Mass Tech Collaborative.
Correct.
So doing research, writing reports, trying to understand trends and relating to economic development. And one of the things you played a major role in helping us bring to a successful conclusion, the comprehensive economic development strategy.
Correct.
Which every region is supposed to have,
Correct.
According to the United States Economic Development Agency.
Correct.
Or administration.
Agency.
Which is a part of the Commerce Department, a subsection. So the region has not had one of those in a long time. The Chamber took the lead with a whole group of partner stakeholders to put together this comprehensive economic development strategy. What is it? Tell us what we did.
Right, so short for SEDS. This is a document that happens every 5 years with yearly updates. And it's essentially supposed to be similar to a kind of a pulse check on a region. What's the strengths of the region, where are the opportunities for the region. And this document is important because it kind of unlocks more funding. It's kind of a key to greater grants, and it encompasses 40 communities. So going down from Princeton all the way to Blackstone, it's supposed to be a regionalized effort. So our steering committee was 50 individuals, public officials, town managers from each parts of these communities, and we spent over a year kind of sitting down discussions. How can we better our region? What are some weaknesses that you're seeing in parts of your region? That may be similar to other parts of the region. So some trends kind of came out of this. Lack of pad-ready sites, deteriorating infrastructure that needed public money, and these are all important things from gaining businesses back into the region, growing the manufacturing base.
So this first report is kind of like a broad analysis of the economy within the region and the various elements that kind of lead to a strong economy, particular sectors and how are they doing. You alluded to kind of the transportation, other opportunities to unlock further investment, whether it be a brownfield sites and those types of things. So really with input from those 40 communities, the municipal leaders, business leaders, academic leaders to try to do that.
And so from that we kind of focused on 5 key industries going forward. So agricultural being one of them, manufacturing being one of them, education, healthcare, and social assistance, professional, technical, and research and development. So these are kind of 5 industries where we'd like to see the region going forward focusing on.
And one of the things you also mentioned, unlock, is this is an important exercise because if it's a town in the southern part of Worcester County and interestingly enough and serendipitously, our SEDS region is very similar to our Chamber service region with our partner affiliates. Auburn, Webster, Dudley, Oxford, Chamber Central Mass South, Blackstone, Wachusett, and Webster, Dudley, Oxford. So the whole region is very similar to our Chamber collective footprint. But say, for example, Blackstone and a neighboring town go for a federal grant. They get extra points and are more competitive in that grant because we've got a completed SED. So we're hopeful and expect that this will bring more dollars back on economic development projects.
So that's the idea here. When someone from the federal government can open up this SEDS document and kind of visualize what our region looks like without having ever stepped foot there, it's especially important. And this is crucial for those small towns that have maybe a small volunteer base working in economic development or planning and don't really have those resources to go after these grants as they wish they would.
Right. And so hopefully we'll have more to report on that. Another thing that you've been working on is a lot of investment in the region, in the city, One of the questions is housing. How do we make sure there's sufficient housing stock for workers, for people who may be getting priced out of Boston, and how do we create, and what's the right mix of housing going forward, including workforce and affordable housing. So you kind of have taken the lead on behalf of the Chamber and the Economic Development Coordinating Cabinet to put together a housing study that started. Maybe you can give us a little overview of that.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick spin. So partners with the EDCC and the Worcester Chamber decided to go ahead and update the 2012 study that was last done on the city. So we went forward and found Dr. Ramesh Ramachandran coming out of Cambridge, and he has ties to the Worcester community. He did his PhD at Clark, so he did his PhD in economics at Clark. So he kind of knows the runaround of the community, and he's going to be he's actually doing right now a 3-phase study that began in November, should be ending towards the end of the summer. And this will kind of provide us with a document that will show, what is our threshold for building, further market rate housing, where can we do better on affordability. And this is important because Worcester has seen tremendous growth over the past 5 years. 1,000 new units of housing already underway or being developed downtown, which is especially rare. If you go back 4 years, the housing units that were developed were a little around 400. Yeah. So this is tremendous growth. And it's going for Worcester. Worcester has a unique housing stock. Over 75% of it has been built before 1970. Right. So maybe this can put other property holders on notice and say this is time to reinvest in your housing stock.
Right. With the values going up, the ability to hopefully do that. And then the other piece which you've taken the lead on within the Chamber, it's a program we're very proud of, started really about 4 years ago, is Startup Worcester, where we work with our colleges, college students or recent grads, or entrepreneurs who've got an idea that they want to kind of start, develop, nurture, the Startup Worcester program. And maybe you could talk a little bit about that. And I think we've got a round coming up for people to apply, right?
Yep. So Startup Worcester is about to enter its 5th year. 48 startups have entered into the program so far. So this kind of shows, the Chamber, along with partners at Worcester Clean Tech, formerly Running Start, and now with Clearly Co-working. And essentially, the program kind of provides mentorship opportunities, a workspace for startups to go to. And this is important for them because if you're starting a business, it's difficult to rent space, and these may be difficult for you to scale your business if you have to worry about these other costs.
And it's not just about rent, though. We also work with the Venture Forum and others and SCORE about trying to find a business mentor, how to develop a business plan, access to capital, and all the things that go with running a business, right? And some programming.
Yeah. So, entrepreneurship is nothing new to Worcester. Our history has, a long list of inventors and people that have come from elsewhere and started in Worcester. And, this is kind of the goal here going forward. We have some extremely amazing entrepreneurs that have already been in the program, that have gone on to employ folks within Worcester. And so how can we kind of increase that? There's been a lot of buzz in Worcester, and especially growing Worcester as an entrepreneurship community. Right.
Well, good stuff, Vaske. Appreciate you having on. We'll do some updates in the not too distant future on each of these, but good work and glad you're aboard.